Hi, my name's He Who Is in the Water. Going to be doing a draft of the Artifact Cube here. Done a couple of drafts so far, and I've been enjoying it, so thought I would hop on and do one here. My general thoughts so far are that it's really good to be aggressive in this format because there's a lot of snowball equipment that rewards you for having cheap creatures and being able to get in, and then there's a lot of supplemental set cards that are sneakily very powerful, and almost all the colors are viable, though blue is not really aggressively slanted at all in this format. So with those kind of things in mind, looking at this pack, I have not a great idea what I want to take. So I think I might just want to take this 2/1 flyer for 2 that has some rider text. Evasion's just very good, and it's kind of aggressively slanted, so give this one a shot. Painsmith has been very good, again, aggressive 2-drop, and it rewards you for playing equipment and rewards you for having cheap creatures. Like if this Hope of Ghirapur could wheel, I think that would be ideal, but Pia Nalaar would also be pretty great as well. Hammer of Ruin's not terrible now that I read it, and Batterskull is not super exciting, but without Stoneforge Mystic in your deck. But certainly in aggro mirrors, cards like this in Wurmcoil Engine are absolutely fantastic. We have those lifelinking bodies that go in every deck. But pretty happy just to take the Painsmith here. So this one is more interesting. My main assumption has been to be drafting black-red, but here we've got 2 very good white cards in Skyclave Apparition and Barbed Spike. And these red cards are pretty okay, and the black cards are a little bit too middling for my taste. So do I want Barbed Spike or Skyclave Apparition? And saying that out loud feels pretty silly to compare the two, so I think I should probably just take the vastly more powerful Skyclave Apparition. Molten Frame's okay. The fact that card's like even considerable is like pretty interesting for the context of this cube, which is awesome. I appreciate that, but I'll just take the kind of busto white card. Okay, but plating's pretty good. Plating is really good. Jorkadine, Glass Casket, and pretty much these 2 are good cards. I guess Dread Statuary is like pretty free to include, in the same way that Mutavault is. Like the first one is incredibly free, if your mana is relatively fair. But Jorkadine to pivot into red-white is not something I'm super thrilled about, whereas Plating is just, I think, going to be very good. So I'm happy just to take that. Not committed to this white at all, so like this Godless Shrine I'm not completely sold on, and I'm far less sold on it when there's a busted card like Shrapnel Blast. They just don't really make burn spells that do 5 damage. It's such an absurd amount to play around. So now we're really, really hoping to get that Hope of Ghirapur back on the wheel. But either of these, the Splitter or the Forsworn Paladin, I think are pretty good as well, but I think those are more replaceable than the face damage of Shrapnel Blast. Okay, Akiri's pretty good. Tawnos doesn't do. What does this one do? When it attacks, you may discard a card, and when you do, target creature defending player controls gets -X/-X until end of turn, X is the number of artifacts you control plus the number in your graveyard. Okay, that's not amazing. That's not the worst. I might take it here. Arcbound Prototype's like a rather middling 2-drop, but I suppose that's still fine because we could pivot to be red-white. And I feel like losing this as a 3. There's so many good 3-drops in this format. But maybe Akiri is the better 3 if I'm trying to pivot white. I don't know about that pick. I don't feel good. Um, I do think I'm intending to be still red-black with this start because the prototype's very medium and the apparition is very costly, but it's a much fairer card. But I also have some interest in this Goblin Barrage, so maybe I just take this instead and stay a little bit more open to red-white or red-black. Because this is similar to Shrapnel Blast. It's just very effective at racing. Or in racing situations, just a tremendous amount of surprise damage. Okay, this pack is less exciting. Salvagers, not really where I think we want to be in this format. Same with Quicksmith Spy. These cards are just all very fair. Gerard is a precon card, so I'm interested in that. Might be pretty powerful. Maybe I take that because Blood Fountain's pretty whatever. Okay, so maybe this might be the start of the shift to red-white. Again, equipment's just very good, I think. So does that mean I want Mortar Pod or Valduk, or even the Trespassing Soul Eater isn't the worst, but that feels much worse than either of these. I think I'll take the Valduk if Moto lets me. Okay, yeah, I think Blade Splicer here makes me say I don't want to be in black right now. I think I'd rather. I think white might be the more open color here. Mastercard's pretty poor. Gremlin Mine, I honestly don't know how this card is. Could be fine, but I feel like I'm pretty locked into playing red, so this Mullen Frame's just going to be a more flexible card on the whole. Danitha? That's not the worst, but I feel like I would just rather have this land that will sometimes be relevant. Am I ever going to play Tavern Scoundrel? Not as much as I might consider this Godless Shrine, I don't think. Last few picks aren't really super important there, so I don't love our start. We've only got 1 2-drop or 2 or less mana creature. And this pack doesn't really help us on that front. There is a dual land and there is Nahiri the Lithomancer. Don't really even have the colorless creatures to make this Forsaken Monument exciting. I think it might be the Planeswalker still. This is like a weaker Planeswalker for sure. It's primarily just like a bad Gideon ally of Zendikar. Like really bad Gideon ally of Zendikar, but I think that'll be adequate. Maybe wheel this Rustvale Bridge. There's also some consideration, is Unlicensed Disintegration better than all of our white cards? I don't think so, because Skyclave and Blade Splicer are pretty good. I'm going to take this for now, but I'm not sold on this either. Okay, Halvar is pretty good. He's a pretty big boy. Because Angel of the Ruins is a pretty powerful card too, but that's really not what we're doing. So it's Halvar and then Etch Champion and Rustvale Bridge are my other considerations here. It's tough because we're also not looking to like even wheel a lot of equipment out of these first 2 packs, so we really need to start prioritizing them. But I do think Halvar is pretty good because the double strike is just a phenomenal ability. We really got to start prioritizing cheap creatures and like literally any equipment. And we have some equipment. So Sword of War and Peace versus Batterbone for equipment, and then Lannery Storm and Toolcraft Exemplar are both good creatures. And then Ballista and Spellbomb are also very powerful, but maybe a little too interactive for what we need right now. But I'm inclined to take this Batterbone, just because we are also somewhat lacking on 2-drop creatures to fill out our curve. So I think I would like that. And Sword of War and Peace is like not the best sword. It's good. I mean, it's got the sword text, so I think it's like pretty playable based on that alone. Okay, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable just taking Arid Mesa here. This pack is kind of weak. I don't really want either of these 2-drops. I don't think Lesser Masticore is good. I don't think it is. I don't know though. I've never really played with this card. And then like Bobble doesn't seem like where we want to be unless we have Urza's Saga. Scuttlemutt is just not really doing much in our deck, and then Mindstone we're not really looking to go ramp on turn 2. So I think that one's pretty easy. Arid Mesa. Okay, now this is interesting. Sword of the Animist is pretty busted, but Unexpectedly Absent is a really good removal spell. So where am I in removal? I've got Shrapnel Blast, Molten Frame, Skyclave Apparition, Goblin Barrage. That is a fair amount of removal. Yeah, I guess I'm taking Sword of the Animist. This card's very good. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, Brea's Apprentice is pretty powerful. So what I'm looking at here is Apprentice, Scrap Heap, and Ancestral Blade. Scrap Heap just as like 2 mana 3/2 that can't block. Like I think might just be good for our deck, but I think Ancestral Blade like ekes it out by Halvar and Valduk being part of the equation. As well as like the equip from Nahiri starts to matter more in these kind of scenarios. So yeah, I think I like Ancestral Blade here. But it's close with Scrap Heap. And Brea's Apprentice is good. I think it's too easy to get glutted on 3s, and I don't think we need to go down that because this cube is pretty powerful, but so you're not really wanting for stuff higher up on the curve most of the time. Filigree Familiar here is fine. Cataclysmic Gearhulk I think is really not where we want to be. It's going to blow up a lot of our stuff if we're trying to play to the board early. And Mythos of Snapdax is just worse than that. Trash for Treasure, not really doing any reanimating, so we'll take a replaceable body. Here we'll just take Nessian Courser. Not exciting, but fills out the curve. If we need to, I'd be very happy to cut this from my deck, but I don't see us trying to splash black with a bridge, and I don't think either of these black cards are that great. Everflowing Chalice, again, not really a ramp deck. And Bag of Holding is just too slow for this format, so I think that's a fine choice. Okay, I didn't really read too much about Kurkash Onaka Ancient before, but I don't think we've got really activated abilities going on of artifacts. Yeah, just equipment costs, and that doesn't do anything. So then it's Master Splicer or Blade Griff Prototype. I think I take that over Master Splicer because flying's pretty good. I don't know though. Don't know. Maybe there's a word where we play Spellbomb. I don't know. Okay, Lannery Storm's a pretty good 3-drop here. I don't think we're really going to be doing duplicate things, and I don't think Kuldotha Rebirth is quite what we have in mind. Although it's not. It's not that bad. It's just a 7/5 trampler once it gets into play. I guess I'd rather have the Masticore. Godo is a powerful card. It's a colorless card, and yeah, saddens me not to play Mythos of Snap decks, because those are, I enjoy those kind of Cataclysm effects, but we are trying to be aggressive, and I think we're looking okay right now. Some 1-drops would be really nice to tie the room together, like maybe a Ragavan, Bomat Courier. That'd be really nice. Flare Husk would be awesome. Instead, we don't really get a whole lot. Huh. Heirloom Blade is good. We do have some humans is the easiest one to cross over with. So the Heirloom Blade, Phyrexian Revoker is also just like a nice 2-drop that's disruptive. Molten Steel Dragon is also pretty powerful. But I think I want the disruption of Revoker. I think that's going to be better here, in addition to being a good 2-drop. Oh, there's also this Relic Seeker. That's okay. This pack's pretty good. This Dismembers. There's a whole lot of good cards here. Okay, actually, now I'm rethinking Relic Seeker. Okay, I think I want that. Oh, this pack. I think we have to take Esper Sentinel because we have no 1-drops, and it's a very good card. Plays very good with our equipment, but Maul of the Skyclaves is great. Goblin Cratermaker is great, but I think we have... I'm never playing this Godo. Yeah. I really want to wheel one of those two, but I think just looking at this like bottom row here, I don't think that's likely. But yeah, I think we just have to take this Esper Sentinel. It's too disruptive, it's too efficient, it helps our curve too much. I don't think I can be talked out of that. Okay, so 2 other playable 1-drops. I've heard Arcbound Shikari is broken. How many artifact creatures do we have? Nope, that's not one. Arcbound Prototype, Esper Sentinel, Lesser Masticore, Filigree Familiar, Cathodian, Bladegriff Prototype. Maybe that's worth it here. Try to wheel this Javelineer. Or the Parasite. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. That seems reasonable. Okay, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 2 if you do create a construct. Okay. That's pretty good. For a 3-mana 3/3. Is that better than Dispatch? How good we are doing Metalcraft things. Not that great, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I'm down to try this one. Okay, lots of great 2-drops here. Sword of Light and Shadow's okay, but I think we're good enough on equipment. We do have some, like Animist, Ancestral Blade, and Plating is our big one. I feel like that's not going to help us grind the best necessarily either. So I'm thinking Servo Exhibition or Orcish Vandal. And I feel like we're not really doing eggs things, so I want this Servo Exhibition that's going to play great with Arcbound Shikari. Okay. Dwarven Hammer's pretty good. Arcbound Slasher is solid, but might be kind of a medium pick here. Core Sanctifiers is pretty good. I do have a soft spot for that card, so maybe I'm valuing it too highly, but I think it's okay. But I also just really like the hammer here. And maybe I'm being a little inconsistent in how I'm evaluating some of these cards, but drafting is hard. More at 11. Now I think this card is pretty fine to play, and I think we don't want anything else from this pack. Yeah, I can't imagine playing a tap land like Ruins of Oran Reef in this deck being good enough. Not great, but I think again we just take the 1-drop. Yeah. Crystalline Crawler's never going to get that huge, so we do have a lot of cuts here to make, but that's okay. We've still got, I guess, not a ton of removal, so this Dismember does seem kind of nice here, but Molten Dragon is pretty great. I think I want it. Yep, yeah, and this pack did not get anything back for us, really, so just take the Smashing Success for the sideboard. I don't think we'll play a Apostle's Blessing. Dancing Sword is an adequate equipment. Clockwork Servant, we're not really monocolored enough for that. None of these cards really go in our deck. Most of our not, okay, this Arcbound Slasher's here. Okay, I really don't like our deck, to be honest. I think it looks fine, but there's just a lot of the really powerful stuff I feel like we missed out on. Like Ragavan or Embercleave or Sword of Fire and Ice, Jitte, stuff like that, which I feel like would have really put us over the top. I feel like we didn't really quite get there. This is too slow. Or put the lands over here. Okay, so I do think we want to be 17 lands because we have a lot of equip costs to pay, so that has me interested in 6 cuts here. I think I can cut this Lesser Masticore. I think we can cut Cathodian. I think this Gerard might just be bad for our deck. Kind of liked this as a flyer, but with the Molten Steel Dragon, I think there's less of a need for it, so I'm happy to trim on that one. I think our artifact count is still relatively high for Shikari. I guess Valduk is a little bit too linear for our deck. I think we are probably going to be equipping multiple things onto multiple creatures to try to get multiple attackers, and I don't think we'll be quite Voltroning in a way to make that card great. And one more cut. Batter Bone is a little bit weird. I don't know, I probably shouldn't cut that one. Yeah, that's probably fine. Kind of thinking Captain Lannery Storm. Let me try try it like this. Just have a ton of 2-drops and great ways to spend mana. Yeah, I like this, I think. I think Halvar is going to be really good in our deck. I like that card a lot, but I think Slasher is just protected by the haste that it can get like that, just on that big of a body. I think it's going to be a really important addition to the modular, having like actually relevant text. Right. We don't have any double red, so I think playing the Dread Statuary is fine. I don't think that's going to hurt our mana too much, so we can be pretty heavily white here. 9/6 looks good to me, because we also don't have a tremendous amount of double white. We have some, so like this favoring definitely makes sense, but we could even go like 10/5. I think that's what I'm going to do, because we still have 6 red sources here. None of these red cards need to be played early. Yeah, okay. Little snipping tool here. Just run through the sideboard, see if there's anything I really want, and I don't think so. I think I'm okay with it. I mean, there are these cards. I guess these were the 6 cuts I made. But yeah, these 6, I feel like I could reasonably play any of them, but I think we're better off without them. Alright, here we are for round number 1 on the play, so that's awesome. Hand is this is a strange hand, but I think we're good to keep this. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel, turn 2 Plating. I think this is what we want. Like, it's going to be hard to mulligan any hand on the play that's got a 1-drop when we're so desperately... I feel like that was a real miss on my part in the draft, is not getting enough 1-drops. Like, I passed that Hope of Gyarper early in pack 1. I think I could have done something better there. Skyclave is a nice addition to our draw. Get some nice Sentinel value here. I think pretty easy sword and equip here. Search up a mountain. Start dumping resources into play. 6 mana is a lot, though. They can certainly get back into this game, and by no means in excellent position. That's okay. If they tap the Zaletta and Mir here, I'm going to be pretty tempted to Arcbound Slash and get, especially if we draw a land. Pretty absurd. Yeah, I don't think I can pass up this kind of damage. I would like haste. Four damage is a pretty good number when you've got a Goblin Barrage in hand. Alright, what does this card do? There's a battlefield with a number of suspect counters on equal to the greatest number of creatures a player controls, so that's 1. And you can... Oh, okay. Well, that's cute. You don't really need to worry about that too much, I suppose. Oh, I guess I've sequenced in such a way where this Goblin Barrage doesn't do what I need it to do. Huh. Huh. Alright, I guess I'm gonna play Dig-Site Engineer and Batterbone. Okay. So I probably just spewed off some information there. I should have just... Well, no, I couldn't proactively kill the lead-in mirror because then they would crack the food token in response. So that was... Okay, maybe not the best sequence, but also not terrible either. Alright, so they had some cheap artifacts. Do I have cheap shatters? I don't really. Really don't. These are good for expensive things, like if opponent plays Memnarch or such shenanigans, but I don't think I saw anything there that I really wanted to kill that I wasn't prepared to already. Alright, let's just draw our Esper Sentinel again. That would be cool. Okay, Bonded Construct, you know, you'll do. That's... I know it can't attack on turn 2, but okay, there's blue mana, so they're Esper. Opponent's doing some ramping over there. But we should be able to eventually start attacking with some pretty beefy creatures here. Mana, Tezzeret the Seeker. Okay. Getting a 3-drop. Okay. Make sure that Tezzeret dies. This is okay. If they kill the germ token or the golem token here, you know, things do obviously get a little bit awkward where we can't attack with that Bonded Construct, but I think this was still okay. Alright, so we're gonna have some big damage here. Crown Shikari is nice, but I would like to give both of my massive creatures double strike. Alright, I guess you have to Wrath me now. And then we get a Dancing Sword left over. Like Taste of Death. I think has to be the card. I think that's the Black Wrath I can think of. I'm sure there's others in the format, but certainly the one I've seen the most of. But Cube's pretty big, got a lot of funky cards. I don't think I know the entire list particularly well at this point. Shrapnel Blast is a little ways off from killing them, which is not the best spot to be in, but it'll get close. Opponents just trying to figure out what lines they can take to get out of this. Sword of the Animist is certainly an interesting inclusion. In their deck. I do think I want to move the Dancing Sword over here in case they kill it, and then on my combat I'll move the plating over to the Bonded Construct. I don't really think I want to Shikari pre-combat. See what interaction they have here. So if they have Dismember, or like a 4-mana removal spell, having the Dancing Sword here taxes them an additional mana, which can be good versus Bake into a Pie, which we saw. So that would put them to, it takes 5 mana to cast that, which keeps them from eating the food on this turn cycle as well, although imagine that's unlikely to matter. I'm not the best with Halvar math. Really enjoy the card, but it's not a card that asks you to do a lot of precise math, because usually you just kind of boggle up your team and you go to town. Okay. Alright. We did it. That was nice. Halvar looked very good there. And you can see that, like, we didn't really need to have particularly spectacular creatures to get the job done. Alright. Alright, here we are for round number 2. Versus Mandromance, we are 1-0. Hand looks pretty good. Could use one more land, but feel really good about including Batterbone in my deck right now. Because that's like what makes this hand functional. Hopefully we get to get Sword of the Animist rolling. Guess I'll offer the trade. Because I feel like if I play Sword of the Animist, they're much more likely to kill that. Okay, Giver of Runes has the potential to be pretty problematic here. Okay. Guess the one lander did not get there for them. So, Toolcraft Exemplar and Giver of Runes. Cheap white creatures makes me think gonna be kind of a mirror. What do I want to have in a mirror? Flying on Bladegriff prototype definitely goes up. Valduk goes up as an incredibly linear card. We just stack everything on it and like can go wide on other boards. So I think I like that over Dig Site Engineer. I think that card is better for like helping us grind with equipment, and I think Valduk will be a better linear card. We're just trying to race them. Same Dwarven Hammer might be a little bit too slow. Or too value-y. Maybe the flying of this will be more relevant right away. Let's give that a shot. Alright kids, I need you to look away. I can't mulligan these hands. I struggle. I simply struggle. So, yeah. Channel is incredibly small at this point. This is my second video recording, but yeah, I'm gonna do that a lot. I'm gonna keep just obscenely bad looking 1 land hand or 5 land hands, because I think those are great a big portion of the time. But they can look bad. They can look real bad. Okay, Blade Splicer is an excellent draw. Am I comfortable trading off this Esper Sentinel for a Forsworn Paladin? I think so. Paladin's very good, and Menace is going to be problematic. So, I feel like that's that. Yeah, I think the cycle here is pretty good. What's the equip on this? This is 2. Okay, so It's a nice combo that they have there. Do I want to attack? What am I saying? Do I want to attack? That's not good. No. Yeah, we're just going to hang out. As long as we have this Blade Splicer in play, we're checking the Toolcraft Exemplar. We're no longer checking the Toolcraft Exemplar. Interesting. I certainly look silly for binning this Mullen frame now, but okay, that's a strong draw. It's a very strong draw because now this is 2 sacrifice, deal 3. So we can move the Batterbone over to this Germ token. That seems good. Okay, they drew a big spell here. Target artifact gains tap, deal 2. Okay. I don't think that's bad right now because it still has double strike. So I think we're still in pretty reasonable shape here. I wonder if when they copy it, does it retain this ability to tap deal 2? No. Okay, that's good for us. But they can team up to use the Quicksmith Rebel Shock and the Lightning Spear next turn to kill a 4/4 here. But I think that trade is okay for us. Don't wish to do anything with that. Because if all else fails, which is looking somewhat likely, we can just equip up this Core Soldier with the Batterbone, and start going to town. Yeah, so I think if they wanted to just wipe my board of permanents, I can be stuck with a Batterbone and the Core Soldier at the end of turn. Looks like that's what they're gonna do. Or maybe. I don't know. Perhaps I shouldn't have offered the trade with Halvar. I don't know. It seemed pretty reasonable to me. Here he goes away. Oh, I guess they do get to wait a little bit here. Interesting. Oh, gonna have to use my brain. So I think I have to take the Quicksmith Rebel here, because anything else I kill, they get to shock in response with the Bloodforged Battle Axe that it's helping or enabling. So if I target the Quicksmith Rebel, they have to shoot my apparition before the ability resolves, and that way they don't get a token. I think that's what I want to do. In addition to like the general thought of if I take away a blocker, I get to press damage this turn. They can still sacrifice the lightning thing to do that, but I don't think I get to influence that math at any point. What's the equip on this again? This is 5, right? Okay, yeah, so we can't do all of that this turn, but that's fine. It is fine. It was a really interesting draw, though. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, okay. So if I attack with my Golem token, they sacrifice Lightning Spear, kill Skyclave Aberration, get a 4/4 block. I have nothing versus this Hopu Gyarpur. So I think that means I can't attack. Yeah. Does feel pretty bad because now I'm just like more or less in the same position, but got a lot of life total to work with, I suppose. This is +3/+1, so it's worth it to sack a Bloodforged Axe. Cool game. It was a very cool game. Or I guess maybe since the axe gets to make another copy, maybe it's not worth it necessarily. Can't complain too much though. You know, this is a pretty real consequence of keeping a 5-land hand, is you draw a few more and fall really far behind. But we've got outs, so we keep playing. Are we dead next turn? That's the question. I don't think so. Can only attack with 1 creature here. This is tense. This is tense. Wonder if I did that Skyclave Apparition turn wrong. It feels like the biggest, or it feels like the point in the game where I had like the most decisions, and it's possible that there was one that I overlooked. Like maybe I'm supposed to kill the Hope of Gyruper and just make this a ground game where I can block a lot more effectively. Interesting. Less interesting. I can't think of anything in my deck that makes me want to have the full 10 mana in play, so I'm going to try to make them think maybe I have some spells here. I doubt that matters. They've got 16 flying power right now. 17 if they sacrifice Spear of Heliod to Piston Sledge and put it on one of the other creatures. Or, wait, did I do the math wrong? I did the math wrong. What did they sacrifice? Oh, the land! Oh, they sacrificed their land. Oh, very clever. Oh, nicely done. That's a sneaky lethal. I wonder if they're respecting something here. No. Oh, good beats. That was nice. Well done indeed. Alright. So, learned it was much more of a mirror. They showed more artifact creatures, which is where these cards really shine. So I think I probably want to bring these in instead of this prototype where, like, if they have a bajillion equipments, that's a lot worse. Probably should not have boarded that in the first place, but we live and we learn. I think Valduk actually would have been pretty good in that kind of game, so I like leaving that in. What else do I not want? Nahiri looked pretty bad, not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that was really well played by the opponent. They did a nice job, and this hand is great. Probably slam the... I'm glad they're having fun with it too. That's awesome. It's good to see. I think we might just be able to tempo them out with some removal here. Yeah, like I can pretty comfortably just Skyclave that. I believe they're aware of the poorness of their situation. Got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4 curve with removal and just a massive creature. And oh, I even get to Molten Frame this. This hurts to watch, except it doesn't because I'm very excited about winning. But that was an absurd curve for us. Great, it was awesome. It was a great match though. Or this, I guess the second 2 games were good, and this third one only because our deck looked really good, I guess. I don't know. I like to win. Leave me alone. See you in round 3. Alright, here we are for round number 3 versus Heart Attack Muffin. Wait, did we win the die roll again? Oh, that's kind of dumb. That's really good. Hand is not playable. It's so close. I think any one of these is a Plains. It's probably a keep. I guess maybe. If this Esper Sentinel was a Plains, I probably wouldn't keep this. Oh, yeah. So I think it's better just to bottom the Arid Mesa here. I don't think we have any value off of the fetch. And just paying 1 life, I think it's better to have it on the bottom and know that our 32 cards are not lands than to shuffle one of these lands into it on the bottom and lose a life. I don't know. Maybe that's painfully obvious to some of you, and that's like something stupid to think about, but I don't know. Try to have good habits, I guess. It's a great draw. Because now we can like get a 2-drop artifact with our Relic Seeker, curve into it nicely, or if they want to remove it here. Nice. Okay, what equipment do we want? I would love to use this ability. Thank you for asking me. I think probably just plating. It's gonna get us the most value here. We are gonna have to like slow down a little bit to start making constructs, but that's okay. Our board's still applying a pretty significant amount of pressure as is. But I'll just play this 2-drop instead. Oh, let's look at this. Oh, what a lovely friend. That's a nice construct. He is so adorable. That is precious. Okay, that's not going to be good enough, opponent. I'm sorry. Okay, Memnite is also not going to be good enough here. Oh, we are popping off here. This is sick. Do I care if they kill my Dig Site Engineer right now? If they do, they take 13, and yeah, that's, yeah, whatever. I don't think, yeah, I think attacking with it was good there. Wrath here is still bad, but the Dwarven Hammer helps. That's not Wrath. That's not close to good enough. It's cute. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, okay. Esper. Esper. I don't know. This is a very strange collection of cards. This looks combo-y to me, right? Like Scrap Trawler and the Tezzeret Master of Metal. Or is this Master of the Bridge? I don't know. Master of the Bridge is not cool enough for the Master of Metal. Does lead me to believe some Scrap Trawlery type shenanigans. Like Scrap Trawler is going to be central to their plan. That they're not just playing this for like a value creature like that. That Memnite and the Cabal Paladin make me think that they have plans on looping that, because KCI is in this cube. So I think that means I really want this Rambunctious Mutt and the Smashing Success in. Probably should not be playing this Nahiri at all, to be honest with you, and kind of disappointing, but that's life. What's not as good here? Filigree Familiar. A little slow, a little value-y, not really disruptive in any meaningful way, so I think that's a reasonable cut. Double Mountain. Mulligan it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So I think I want to keep Esper Sentinel, the 3 lands, and the dragon. I think I want to do that. So then it's which equipment is worse? Dancing Sword is better, because if we like start not hitting a lot of creatures and just like get more equipment and more lands, we're gonna run out of things to equip it to. But I suspect they're not as interactive. I suspect they're more combo-y, so I think I just want the plating to just slap them. Oh yeah, there's nonsense going on over there. I think I'm happy offering this trade though. I'm very scared of what they can do if they go off. Ew, Retrofitter? That's very scary. Enter Shikari, although it is kind of weak here, but that's alright. First strike is still nice. I just feel a little bit bad about them being at 18 life with this kind of resources building up on their side. Yep, there's a Scrap Trawler. I think I just Sword of the Animist and attack, because I think we really need this Rambunctious Mutt to get in there next turn. Oh, this Retrofitter Foundry is like a pretty significant long-term problem as well. Oh, that's disgusting. So if I kill Scrap Trawler or a Glass Casket, they don't get the Ethereum Spinner back. But if I kill the Casket, there's a chance that they're able to recur it on their turn. I think it's cute to try and kill the removal spell, but I think we just have to kill the Trawler here. I am just worried about, like, if I build out my board in this way that we can fall behind to this Retrofitter Foundry. Maybe I just shouldn't be worried about that at all, but I don't know. I'm also just now noticing that the mountain names here are not all the same size, and that's it. Oh my god, Hostage Taker? Oh, everything is bad. Oh, it's all terrible. I cannot stress enough how bad that Hostage Taker is, because we just can't play our Mullen Dragon now. Oh my god. Oh jeez. I guess we're just casting Batterbone and equipping Sword of the Animist and Cranioplating. And saying, hey... Well, or I guess we survive. They mutt something here, but this is still pretty poor. I still don't know what to make of their deck. They're improvising something. Battle at the Bridge. Yeah, that's backbreaking. Again. Yeah, this is the one that says until end of turn. No Stalking Stones here. I can't, like, animate it and try to equip stuff onto it. Alright, well, at least now we get to play out the Molten Dragon. Do I wish to offer this trade? I don't think I do. I think we pay retail on this. I'm a little bit concerned about my life total, and if we get to untap with it and equip the Batterbone, then I'm not really at all worried. So drawing land here is, like, actually okay, because we can go Engineer plus equip Batterbone, and that's scary, but I guess not immediately bad. I'm glad they did that now, because I probably would have blocked if they attacked. And this is -3 right now, so we're still alive. So they can make a Retrofitter Foundry token here. They have opted not to. Okay. Maybe I should have pumped, but I did not think I was getting through that so quickly. So I think not pumping was fine in retrospect again. Or to double back on doubling back. That's terrifying. But I guess okay for the time being. Oh wait, they have Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, okay. So I do have 17 power here. What am I missing? This doesn't make flyers. I'm so stupid. What am I worried about? I have lethal. Right, and now I pay 12 life, go to 1. Hey, that's a trophy. You love to see it. Nice. GG's opponent, that was a really cool game. That was a great draft. Great fun all around. And, yeah, might do some, cube content from time to time whenever these weirdo ones are up. I do enjoy a little bit here and there, although I'm no trophy leaderboard grinder by any stretch, but I do enjoy playing them. Well, I said I wasn't impressed with the deck at the start, and cards that I talked up highly like Goblin Barrage and Shrapnel Blast just didn't matter. It was just good old-fashioned beatdowns and winning the die roll and drawing a lot of 1-drops in my 2 1-drop deck. So definitely got lucky to get there. I think this is more of a 2-1 quality deck on average than a trophy, but yeah, that was great. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of all this. See you.